What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Stranger's Minds. I'm Fernando, and we're gonna continue on with Reddit reads or read from Reddit. That's just gonna be it. That's gonna be it. So we have our very first story over here on Reddit's Paranormal Encounters. It was 2 days ago. Laughing thing. So let's first click on if there's a story to read. Okay. Hold on a sec. Wait for it. Good evening, everyone. This event happened 2 years ago. Me and my friends decided to go on a holiday in Malaga. We rented a villa in the middle of the hills. Oh, in the middle of the hills. Literally, there was nothing around us but nature. One night, they all went to the city center, but I just wanted to enjoy the nice night by the pool. At one point, I hear two laughs, so I thought I was tripping. But after the third one, I started recording. Where I was pointing the camera, there was literally nothing. Till this day, I don't know what was that to be fair. Okay, so this person is in the middle of, I'm assuming like a villa that's very secluded. So there shouldn't be anybody around. This is what I'm getting from the story. So let's go ahead and here, let's put up the volume all the way up. Let's go.
Oh my days, there's something laughing outside, bro. Yeah. Man is locking the door, bro. What the fuck is this? Yeah, this is getting closer, bro. Oh my days, what the fuck is it? Some laughing shit.
Hmm. Let's hear it one more time, you guys. I raised the volume.
Oh my days, there's something laughing outside, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard it.
Man is locking the door, bro.
I heard it better. But you know what, my friend? That sounds like an animal. Actually, sounds like a coyote, maybe. Is coyote known to be around these parts? Because that sounded definitely like a animal. Yeah, look at the first reply. It's probably a fox or coyote. I really can't hear shit from your video, but those two can make laughing noises, which would also explain why the dog's going nuts. I completely agree. Can't effing hear it over you talking, my guy. I mean, you could be a little bit more nicer, Razdilov or whatever the hell your name is. Um, that's a dog, bro. The laugh is definitely not the dog. The dog, you could hear the dog barking. I think it was definitely a coyote or a fox. I'm going with ambitious body on this. Laughing noise, you mean the dog barking? It was not the dog. You guys need to rehear this. You hear the dog barking, but also you hear like this, I'm gonna say animalistic laugh. It's gonna be from an animal. So yes, we hear it, but I think it's not in paranormal. So safe to say that this area is good. All right. So let's go on to the next. What is this? Okay, let's hear the story first. Okay. Something or someone moved our camera yesterday, flipped it straight up, didn't notice it until my family left for church that morning, came home to the camera being completely ripped off the wall, which led to me investigating further and came across this video. Has anyone experienced something messing with home cameras? All right, you guys, you ready? Let's do it. That was pretty forceful. Just aiming up at the ceiling, popcorn ceiling at that. Be careful, you guys, with popcorn ceilings. They're known to not be so healthy. So I would definitely, if we go by this story and it was nobody, it is known, especially paranormal investigators out there. You guys know that when you set up a camera, sometimes something is messing with the camera. And, whether or not it's being moved, the battery is being drained, you know, uh, things do mess with cameras. Now, I cannot say this was paranormal because we don't really know what's going on beyond our vision of the camera. But if the camera is facing this way and it was just flipped going this way, basically anything in this area over here, let me say over here, it's not really going to be shown. So it could have been done by somebody else, and let's just say it was a entity. It is known that it does happen. Someone might be in your house. There's been food missing. You may want to set up a camera. Oh, get a big dog. Hey, if it was living in your attic or basement, I'd do the same thing. Dang, you guys are just putting things in this guy's head. Jeez. I mean, not for nothing. I did come across a video. I believe it's in last season's Stranger's Minds reaction. One of those videos, can't tell you which one. Um, Somebody put up cameras because they felt as though somebody was living in their house. And Lord behold, there was actually somebody coming down from the basement at night when that person knows that everybody's asleep, or even if it's not there, they would and treat themselves in the kitchen and go back up, and nobody didn't know nothing. So yeah, yeah, that's. But jeez, man, guys, take it easy, take it easy. All right, let's go down. Ooh,
According to reports,
hold on. What the hell? According to reports. All right, we're not going to skip this one. Abandoned murder mansion. We're not going to skip this one. This one was 28 minutes ago. Let's see what this is about. Hopefully it's not. All right, not bad. So I sorry. So I recently made a visit to the abandoned Skippett's mansion as I very much enjoy the topic of abandoned buildings. That is what Stranger's Journey is mostly about. Stranger's Journey is basically another branch of Stranger's Minds. And it is where I go out in the field. I go to different locations all over the place. But I have been going and finding very interesting going into abandoned psychiatric center. I've gone to Kings Park Psychiatric Center. I've gone to Letchworth Village. There's just Fairfield out in Connecticut. It's just so interesting. And then the fact that it is also just I don't know, the history of it. The history, there's some beauty within the not destruction, but there's beauty within the fall of a structure when nature comes in and takes over. I don't know. I find it so interesting. So I'm already with you, my guy. The building is very old, from 1782 to the 1900s. It was a mansion belonging to the Skippett's family. Within this time, a murder of a young woman took place. She was stabbed and buried somewhere unknown. It was converted to an emergency hospice in 1901 to 1904. Two people died there. The last resident moved in the 40s. The last resident moved in the 40s. Theodore Montauk passed away in 1981 at age 90 something. Now, whilst here we did the normal, looked around, etc., my friend randomly got extremely scared. I asked what was wrong. He replied, "That homeless guy scares me." There was no homeless guy. And apparently he saw someone sprint upstairs, so we had a look. Not a soul in sight. About 5 minutes later, we were in this huge, dark horror movie, etc. hallway when we heard a bang come from the attic. We thought it was just this long abandoned building making noise, but no, we heard another, which was a few meters in front of us before we heard a door slam. Sure as hell, we checked and a door is shut and will not open no matter what. After this, we left. Thoughts? We're both terrified. Many thanks. So, as a paranormal investigator that has gone, I gave it a like. As a paranormal investigator that has gone to many abandoned locations, just know that it just because it's abandoned does not mean there's not a soul in sight. There has been situations, and even reacting to some paranormal investigators that are like urbex that do go into abandoned places, take pictures, and do all of this. They do come across people, usually homeless, usually people there up to no good, doing certain things, but there are people. Now, I should add this: when we go into these places, we have backpacks, we have cameras, we have gear. To some people, we might even look like authority, so they are going to run away because they're most likely, just like yourself, just like myself, we most likely can't be in there. So once they start hearing people walking around, they're going to try and find a place to hide or lock themselves in. So yeah, that could possibly be a real human person trying to escape from getting caught from you guys. Usually, when I go into places, I announce myself before completely going inside because I don't want to surprise nobody. I don't want to be surprised myself coming across people because you never know who's in there. So, better safe than sorry. Announce yourself. You know, take every proper precaution when you are going into these abandoned location. That is my advice to you, sir. That sounds awesome. Well, awesome to watch on YouTube, but scary to experience in person. That is, uh, I guess, for a viewer, awesome to watch on YouTube because we are taking, that, the risk of of it all, but it is amazing. It is amazing. So just in case you guys, I have Paranormal Explorers out on YouTube right now and on Rumble. Paranormal Explorers exploring um, Kings Park Psychiatric Center. I just have the one episode out right now. I know the last year I was putting up some other videos, which is basically what I'm doing now is that I'm remaking them because I'm getting a little bit better with the editing of videos and putting things together. So that is what I'm doing. I'm gonna remake everything that I did last time, or keep some that I've already made because I don't know how I can make it any better. But I am making those. I'm remaking those videos and putting them back out there. So just show some love and support you guys. Let's go on to the next. Now, what is this that we're talking about? Okay. Just Lazarus syndrome. Lazarus syndrome. Is this something about like somebody that was declared deceased coming back alive? Let's see.
A man was pronounced dead after suffering severe burns. However, something inexplicable happened. This recording was made by the nurses who were present at the scene. According to reports, the man who was already considered dead got out of bed and began to wander around the room, as if he was looking for something. Then, the man went towards the door, where he fell to the floor and could not get up again. What do you think happened to the man? Leave your comment.
I know we just read the story, but let's.
A man was pronounced dead after suffering.
Okay. So, what can we say about this? Um, where was this recorded? Have you guys heard about this story? Where was this recorded? Because yes, he could have been, burned to death or not to death, but burned to where doctor would say, this guy is he's gone. But did they really check his vitals? Did they really like check it properly? He could have been still alive, just crisp, right? Didn't mean to laugh at that part, but yeah, it all depends, So doctors, nurses, they do make mistakes and they'll declare somebody, dead, and it turns out that they aren't. So it does happen. So yeah, I think this guy was suffering a lot. He was in an emotional state. He wakes up in a hospital. He's feeling all this pain. And yeah, he's trying to move around. It seems like he is, frustrated. Yeah, he's probably remembering what happened. And, as he was trying to walk away, his body gave out. I could only imagine the excruciating pain this guy's going through. So yeah, I wouldn't say Lazarus syndrome. I wouldn't say that, but it is interesting to say the least. Hey, the paranormal has a bunch of everything. Not for nothing, this picture right here, it doesn't even look like this person belongs in this room. Like, not saying that he shouldn't be a patient, but saying like they photoshopped him in there. But yeah. All right, let's see this. What is this about? All right, let's see the story. My encounter that made me believe. Okay, so let's check out the story. My mom, my younger sister, and myself moved into a historical house in Easley, South Carolina. Oh man, I've been wanting to do a road trip, but I am trying to see if I want to go to South Carolina, visit my friends out there, Southern Hospitality Paranormal. Um, Shout out to Mary, and or go to a place, Savannah, Georgia. Man, I'm being split into two ends, but let's see the decision. Regardless of where I go, I'm gonna have my cameras with me. You guys are gonna find out also. Um, it's on Main, still has the parlor room, and for some reason, slide bolts on the outside of the doors, and all the doors had those really old handles that you needed a skeleton key for. Okay, so historical is correct. We to keep the glass windows and wood floors in the house because that is what they said made it historical. Well, I mean, definitely, preserving as much as you can in a historical place would be ideal, but that's completely up to the house owner, right? Just know that the older the wood, the more energy it conceals. So keep that in mind. My aunt actually leased it for us to live in until our old home got fixed up, but the owner had told her no. He said no one is to live in the house, it's only to be used as a business. So she lied and kept lying about us using it as a business. Okay. Which I didn't find out the extent of the conflict with that until way later. Okay. Damn. That's 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 some personal information. And not just personal, but uh if the owner of the house tells somebody nobody can't live there because it's only for business, you are kind of in a way. I mean, did you guys sign a contract? Because then you are kind of in a way breaking that contract. I still do not know the actual history of that house though. Oh, it's also across from the graveyard. Boosh. I never got to live in a house that was across the street from a graveyard, but best believe me as a paranormal investigator, I wouldn't like the idea to live across from a graveyard, but love the idea that I know somebody that lives across from a graveyard. That's so messed up. All I know is that place is haunted by three spirits: a young boy, an older woman, and a middle-aged man. The boy and woman never scared me. It was the man who I finally captured on video. It has taken me a long time to even watch this again because of the chills I get. I don't think he is demonic or evil, despite the things he has done or for attention. I think he's just unhappy and desperate to be acknowledged for him to have shown himself to me like this. Of course, I have absolute fear in my voice in the video, but at the time, he had done some wild things to the point of pulling my hair so hard my head jerked back. This has 332 likes, 580 comments, and this was uploaded 6 days ago. This gotta be good, you guys. This gotta be good. But let's see what's up. Let's actually put it big.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I missed it.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I missed it. Let's see it again. It gotta be down that hall, that door.
Oh my god.
Okay, let's go a little back. Okay, let's go a little back. I paused it here because I'm assuming that is this over here, right? Let's see. Let's see. It doesn't even show that it's moving. All right. I'm trying to see if there's a way to make it slower. No, can't. There's no way to make it slower. So what I see is, right? Let's try and break down this video. That is what I do. If there is a table and these are the chairs, the length of the chairs, you see, these are the chairs, then it definitely shows you an outline of somebody sitting at the table. It definitely shows you an outline. Let's go back a little bit. And what's a little weird is, actually, I'm not even gonna say weird because I have encountered this before. Do you see how it doesn't look like there's anybody there? And then when you go in, there's a full blown shadow. So my thing is that that is the camera focusing on a dark area. So when you pan the camera, the camera does this camera thing, and it's focusing. So once it gets a good view, since you are standing still, then it just tries and capture and clears as much as it possible. But here's the thing, though, you guys. Oosh. What happened here is reverse of what I'm saying, because when the camera's in movement, that's when you really catch a lot of things, that shouldn't really be there, and most likely 90% of it isn't. But once you are still and the camera focuses on the area, that should have clear up. Unless there is some sort of item there that just, possibly let's think about it like possibly beyond the table, there's probably a co-rack or something that gives off this image, due to the darkness in that room. Um, that is just me using, I always, as a paranormal investigator, my mind goes into trying to debunk until I can't. So obviously, there's the piece of footage that we get. It's it's pretty cool because let's just say it does seem like it's on the table. Not on the table, like he's sitting at the table. And you could kind of tell, the other chairs and just this shoulders. You kind of tell the shoulders, the head. All right. So I would say that let your aunt know, the one that is breaking contract. Let your aunt know of these happenings if she doesn't know already. Because I tell you what, I have yet, unless you planning to convert a business into a haunted spectacle. For example, let's go down the list. The Lizzie Borden house, they turned it into an Airbnb. The Eastern State Penitentiary, they converted it into a tour. Awesome tour. There's so many places that is that has been reported to be, paranormally active, and you just have to pay a lot of money to get in. I see a weight, like like a weight measure thing over here, old school doctor stuff. Was this a doctor's house? I don't recall. What was it before? Historically, I've read so many stories that in a way it's like all getting jugged in together, because I feel like I probably read somewhere that it was, no, it didn't say nowhere that it was a doctor's facility or anything like this. Morgue's probably the last episode I recorded. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But yeah, you know what? As of right now, one of the things that I'm going to point out is that a lot of people are so gullible that any paranormal activity, they're going to deem it demonic, and that is just not right. But there are entities that are restless. There are entities that are, not in a good mood. Don't know why, can't speculate. But let's just say somebody goes into your house and starts talking smack, right? You know, I don't believe in provoking paranormal activity because you're being disrespectful. So yeah, you're gonna get a evil reaction, right? Not an evil reaction. Sorry, you're gonna get a mean reaction, an angry reaction, and those reactions usually are dubbed demonic, which is absolutely ridiculous. But yeah. On top of that, right? Let's just say, you know, you are in somebody's space that possibly don't even know that they're deceased. Uh, you feel you've be pretty, this happens a lot. This happens a lot. It is very, the entity. That's why that it's even a little bit, what's the word I'm trying to look for, because when you go into, when you're investigating, you want to ask certain questions. And I feel that sometimes, depending on your interaction with the entity, do you really want to throw out there the question, do you know you're dead? Like that, could you imagine, you don't know you're dead. Somebody asks you, do you know you're dead? You're going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? Right? So, I'm just saying, different, just like people, just like the living entities, they're not all the same. We categorize them as being intelligent hauntings, whether or not you could have some sort of interaction with them. You tell them to do something, they do it. Intelligent. You could have a residual haunting, which is basically a record playing over and over. You could almost pinpoint when it's going to happen because it happens all the time in the same place. It's not intelligent. You cannot interact with it. It's just a a manifestation of energy happening in that area. Then, if we go down the list of, different types of spirits out there, which is a lot, but to deem something demonic and nothing dangerous hasn't happened or nothing, you're just being scared. Yeah, definitely not demonic. I would feel at unease, you know, walking around an historical place that technically speaking you're not supposed to be in, and catching somebody sitting at the table. Yeah, that would definitely be a little bit what the F. Alls I saw was scared kid with a camera. Okay, then dude, you're not then you didn't really look at the video. All I'm saying, you not wrong. You're not wrong because this would be the exact definition of a skeptic. You know, going through paranormal encounters. Um, Looks like a dark room with things in there. That is my thing. It could have been something, possibly an item that just looks, that is there, but it kind of looks out of place, especially if you're walking around at night. Things scare me. What? Things scare me. Okay. So in the room, I think there's a table or something, but definitely was a shadow person in that room left side. Left side, I'm saying that I'm seeing this, you guys, right? Are you guys seeing something else or did I miss something? Let's go back. This looks like a old clinic. You know what would have been awesome if the person, although it takes a lot, because even paranormal investigators get scared at the moment. It would have been awesome if she would have just kept it just another second or two to see if it moves. That would have been crazy, dude. That would have been crazy. But you know what? That's what we get. And we are going to call it right here for this episode. But hey, you guys, if you are enjoying this kind of content, I know I'm getting a couple of comments, a couple of interactions. People, I'm not doing this for the views. I'm not doing this for the likes. I'm doing this because I enjoy it. This is aside from it being educational, because we learn from each other, but it's entertaining for me. So I do this because I like it. But if you guys are enjoying yourselves, please do what you're doing to like a channel, hit that like, share, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. And I'll catch you guys on the next. Peace.